Hi, my name is Christina, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. This channel's topics focuses on the recovery of narcissistic abuse, narcissism, and things in relations to this topic. If you or someone you know is experiencing this, I encourage you to like this video, subscribe, leave feedback, and hopefully I can help you on this journey. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the concept of the smear campaign. If you're not familiar with this term, what a smear campaign means in terms of narcissistic abuse is what the narcissist does to completely destroy, dismantle, smear your character and overall appearance to other people. It doesn't define your character as a person, but it defines what they want others to think about you. What is really important to remember in terms of narcissistic abuse is that the narcissists themselves are attracted to you for what you have inside. They go after people that are very selfless. A lot of times, like empaths are very susceptible to narcissistic abuse. Those that have borderline personality disorder are another target, or those that are attracted to each other in terms of the narcissistic abuse. So what you're going to see in terms of the smear campaign is once that final discard comes, or even sometimes when it's not even the final discard yet, but this will actually accelerate their need to discard you because everything they do is based on attention or validation from others. They initially in the beginning have you in a fairy tale state. They have you up on a pedestal, and a lot of times it's, reciprocated, because a lot of times these people are empaths, someone that does a lot for them. They like the validation and praise they're getting from that person, putting them out there like, oh, they're so fantastic, they're so great. And, these people are very charming. They're very seductive. They are very easy people that will fool others because they do come off to be such a well-rounded person. So when a smear campaign happens and this person is attempting to dismantle your character, this is often one of the most painful parts of narcissistic abuse for the victim to go through, because you have to keep in mind, not only are they realizing that the person that they're with, or this person in their life that is, that has NPD or these NPD traits, they're realizing that this person is not what they seem, but now they are also having their own, outlook on themselves, their character, completely smeared to everyone they know, and they're losing people in their lives that they never thought would go away, or they thought genuinely would never believe these things about them. And the easiest thing to do in a situation like that is to react with emotion. You want to defend yourself, you want to scream, you get angry, you have all these other emotions that are just coming out they're manifesting inside of you from just wanting to just prove the truth. And a lot of times that is where people that are trying to defend themselves, they'll be viewed as crazy, they'll be viewed as invalid. You'll always have the people that genuinely care about you that will stand by your side. And I know this is very hard to hear, but the most important thing and the best thing you can do being in a situation like this is to respond with nothing, go gray rock, or if you do choose to respond, go straight to the source and talk to them. For example, I'll let you learn from my own mistake. When I had my situation with the person in my life that, I experienced this type of abuse, they admittingly told me, which I did not know to begin with, that they went and spread lies about me, that they were so embarrassed by their own behavior that they made it look like I was, I guess you could say, the narcissist in our relationship. I was the one mistreating them. And, I did not understand for the longest time why I was being treated so poorly by their family members, or why their friends thought I was such a terrible person. So I'm just attempting to defend myself. In the beginning, I made a mistake. I put something on social media. It's so frustrating to just hear about yourself from someone else's perspective that has done so much to hurt you. And it's even more frustrating when you've done so much for that person to see your personality and everything about you that you've worked so hard to build, or just who you are as a person, completely misconstrued to others by someone that has done very awful things, if not the things they're portraying to others, to you. So that's where that anger, frustration comes from. And for me, I wanted to defend myself. I responded with emotion. I responded to family members, just, long text. The one thing you should never do with the narcissist to begin with, because, they don't listen. So when you're responding to anyone with emotion, I don't know how many of you guys remember this from high school, but there's 3 types of persuasion that we have. That's going to be ethos, logos, and pathos. The ethos, ethical persuasion; logos, logical; and then pathos, which is your emotional. And what is important to remember in this is the pathos, that emotional response, that is the one where you see these apology videos from celebrities, things along those lines. It's going to fail every time. You're just basing your apology period or whatever you're trying to say to rely on that empathy that the narcissist lacks, but other people's as well. And when you're just going full empathy, you're not going to get anywhere. And that was my mistake, because there's so much emotion that sits behind. When someone does a smear campaign on you and dismantles who you are and tries to do something so hurtful, so it diminishes your support system, you are so emotional that a lot of times you're not thinking with the logic aspect of it, the ethical aspect. And that's why you need to respond with pathos and ethos, which is, say there's someone important in your life that maybe this person went and said horrible things about you to. You should go to them and say, listen, if it's a person that's very important to you, I apologize. I know that you may have heard some things about me, and I'm sorry that you were subjected to that, but does that seem like me as a person? Does that seem like it's in my character? I only ask you to understand that, I just want you to know that, and if there is something that you're concerned about and, in the future with this going forward, I'd really appreciate if you came to me and, I just wanted to let you know that. You do not need to get into the situation. You do not need to put details. You do not need to do your own smear campaign. Those things are going to do nothing but fuel a fire, and that's just going to cause you more pain, more confusion. The narcissists themselves, their goal is to win, and if you're feeding back, playing into that same game, it's only going to make things worse. And I understand the need, again, to defend your character. I totally understand that. I mean, guys, I went to the extent that I'm not even joking. In the very end, I was so fed up with hearing just false things about me and them admitting, I've said awful things about you, but they wouldn't make it right. And I was so mad about that. I actually went, and this is so stupid, I paid to take a through a court certified examiner, a polygraph test to literally prove that this person was lying about me to their family, admittingly, and then living a double life, not telling the truth. And I was going to send those results that they could verify to this person, along with some other concrete things that would show my side of the story. Because I just wanted, I guess, their family that I really valued, I loved, appreciated, I thought they loved me too. I wanted them to know the truth, that I wasn't the one to be hated here. I wanted them to understand that with me trying to talk to them, I was trying to go through something I didn't understand, and I wish they would have been there. I thought they cared, and I wanted them to understand that something was wrong with this person they greatly cared about, and I thought that was the only way to get them the help that they needed, because they were so embarrassed of their own actions. And then I just realized, what is the point of any of that? In a sick, indirect way, this person may have actually done you a favor. The people in your life that genuinely love you, that know your character, this isn't going to faze them. And the ones that, they're on the fence, maybe they were between both of you, having that simple discussion, not getting into it, not going more into detail, they're going to think about it and they're going to think, yeah, you know what, that really doesn't sound like them. A lot of times, it really sucks, because in some cases, someone will provoke you. They will literally do things that they know will hurt you or cause a reaction, and then it's reactive abuse. They will push you to be in the worst possible version of yourself. And then that reaction, just like you record them, they'll record you, or they'll go out of their way to, base what they're saying about you that isn't true off reactions they know they caused by belittling, mentally or physically abusing you, by doing things to you that are inhumane, that no human being should deal with. No one in a relationship, no one should hear from their mother or father, from their boss. None of these things are healthy, normal, and it's going to take a toll on you mentally. It's going to take a mental toll, and that leads to physical manifestations. It's awful. It's just literally awful, and nothing that you should experience. So if you are the victim of this type of, what they do call in the terms of this abuse, smear campaign, understand, I know it's hard. Understand, I know that you don't want, an additional nightmare of losing this person in your life that you thought was great. and finding out who they really were, you don't want to feel like it was your fault. And I know there's so much negative self-talk that is involved in that is just beat into your head, and in time you may believe it. But just understand that if someone, again, does not know who you really are inside, they'll see it in time if there's someone worth being in your life. It's important to, again, to talk to those people that are important to you that may be on the fence and just simply state those facts. I'm sorry that you were brought into this. I'm sorry you had to hear this. But again, does that sound like me? Just come to me in the future if you have any questions. And that's all I wanted to say. Don't sling mud. It's just like with a pig fighting in mud, and you're going to get dirty and you're going to hate it and they're going to love it. Know who the opponent is on the opposite end, and understand that when you are you're in type of a narcissist disagreement, the goal is to not come to a conclusion together, like when you were in that relationship, and go to the solution and solve the problem. It's to win. It's ping pong. So with the smear campaign, it's just a way to dismantle every amount of support you have, to make you and paint a picture of you just like they have that false facade for themselves. They're protecting that image. And what's important to remember is, when it comes down to it, a lot of times, since we don't find out someone is truly a narcissist till way later into a relationship, sometimes it just takes something to bring it out. And that's what happened with me. Someone could appear to love you, but remember, they do everything for a sense of validation. They do not have a good core sense of self. They need to protect that image they've created with dear life. So when a situation comes out in times where it's either A, throw themselves to the wolves and know that they're going to be judged for it, or B, throw you to the woods no matter who you are, or the wolves no matter who you are, in order to save themselves. When this happens, that's a lot of times when we figure out who the person is that we're with. And so many people don't have to see it because they're in a setting with them where there's one of their admirers, or one of the people that has been, enabling them, the flying monkeys, the ones that, give them persuasion that they're doing something right. They're not held accountable for their actions. That's where you're going to see this, justification for their behavior. They're not being held accountable, and that's when that smear campaign intensifies. It gets worse, and then it sometimes escalates, you being discarded because, where they once got praise and admiration for all the things they did for you and for being with you. Now it's not going to look like that when they're making you look like this evil monster that's actually a reflection of exactly who they are and what they've done to you. And I know that it hurts. But just know that anyone in your life that is willing to put you through this, or anyone that is actually going to believe these things, ask yourself, is that really worth my time? It's just so important to focus on your mental health, to refinding who you are as a person. And I know the smear campaign is incredibly hard for you, but it does not define who you are as a person. What defines things that happen to you is how you respond to it. And in this case, gray rock, or just going straight to those people that do truly care and saying just those basic things, that's all you need to do. Focus on your wellness, the recovery of who you are as a person, what you stand for. And you know what? By doing those positive things for yourself and building yourself up as a person, all that's going to do is two things, and it's nothing but positive. It's going to, one, remind you of who you are as a person and show those talents and how bright your light is inside of you that attracted this negative person, this toxic person in your life to begin with. It's going to build you up your self-esteem again, help you find who you are. And it's going to show other people, wow, look at them go. That person's doing awesome. And they're going to see the truth about you, because in the end, the truth always does come out. So I know it's hard, but keep on going, because in the end, it's so worth it. You're going to be okay. And just remember, nothing anyone says about you that is purposely meant to hurt you is okay. Normal people don't go around destroying other human beings. They just don't. If you know anyone who's going through this type of abuse, or if you or yourself are, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe, and I will be releasing new content consistently. Thanks, guys. I hope you're all doing well and keep fighting. All right, till next time.